You have tried your Scrapy and tried to create a spider from your new project. Now, we will say when we have all the response here, now how do we make it into our program? So now I want to show you how do we generate a proper spider so we can run it. So from here, let's explain this one first. So in this program, we said import Scrapy. Then the class, we have the class called quote spider. So if you have your movies generate like this one, so this one is the newly generated from your Scrapy, is automatically generated. So you can see the class is called movies spider. So the name movies is the name you gave to the spider. So you gave to the Scrapy. So you say Scrapy Gen Spider, then you say movies, and you give a URL. So this one is the one you gave to Scrapy. And when Scrapy generated the spider, then here is the Scrapy automatically generated. You will call the Scrapy spider. Then the name is movies. So this one is the one you gave to Scrapy. So this one you can change it. But if your project is called movies, then this one automatically generates as movies. But if your project is another name, then this one will be different. And the spider doesn't like two names are the same. So even though you open two different projects in different folder, then you call it movies. Now, all called movies, that won't be a good idea. So for spider, you need to think of, if I'm doing movies, then I call it movies. If I'm doing some text, strings, then you need to name it in a different ways. So when you have the movies, then the spider will know you want to start the address from here. So then the domain will be here. The domain is different to the URLs. Actually, URL has got an HTTP. Then the domain means all the movies yahoo.com.tw. It's a domain. So everything inside the domain is probably the spider will run everything inside here. And then the next is the actual things we do to scrape take your data from a website. So go back to our quote program. So now you can see this one is automatically generated from Scrapy, and this one is automatically generated. Then the names is the one I gave it to you, to the Scrapy, and the address as well. Actually, this one is Scrapy documentation example program. So I just used that one to do some work. So then from here is the actual things we want to extract from the website. So from this website, we open it so you can see what it looks like. So this one is the one we are going to extract data from here. Then we go back to our program here. So from here, what I want to explain is we have a function called pass. So this pass is to pass everything in the quote to scrap.com. The data pass in here. So for here we want itself. Then we want the response. The response is the one I let you try before we go into the program. We try it from terminal. So everything is called the response. then we just want a different response. So from the response, for the first one, for example, we say that for code, this is a loop, which means we have the response.cs. Then inside the .cs, we want to type the code. So you can see we want to extract everything is inside the type.code, then everything in there. So let's go back to the web address. Then we can have a look at the source code. Then we can search for let's find the code div. Then you can see the yellow color are the div we want. Then not everything inside the div we wanted to scrape. We want actually the div dot code. So it's something in here. So actually we want the Scrapy to extract things between here. So this is the one, and you can see this is another one. So the block we want to extract is not just one, it's many. So this is why we need the for loop to read everything. So now we have the for loop to read the div.code. Then inside the div.code, the yield means printed out. So we wanted to print out, we want author's name and the text about the author. So here, it says author. Then after the author, we want the quote XPath. So you can see there are different things we can extract. If you are using .css, which means it's a hierarchical things you need. So the .css means type, and then inside the type, the quote. So it's after the type. But if you are using XPath, then it's called span small text. Let's see, what's that? So you can see, if you are using the CSS, then these are the CSS things. So the class is a kind of CSS. So the color or font or things changed from here. But if you are using XPath, then we say, then let's have a look at span. So here you see it's called span. Then after span, inside the span, then another one is called small, and another one is called text. So it actually want to extract span. So inside the div, the quote, we want span and small and text. So if you go back to the program, you can see the author is somewhere inside the span, small, and text. Then the text is a span.text, then it's just the text. So if we go back to the, so there are two ways of extraction. So you need to check if it's in a CSS style hierarchy or it's in actual HTML hierarchy. So that's two ways of extract things. So when you say .get, then you will get things inside here. So the things after the small quote, tag, small tag, after small tag, the text after small tag, it will be extracted. Then this one is the span.text, then actual text in here. So let's have a look at CSS style. From here, so we can see, so if we want the span, then it's text. So after that, we want all the text. So that's the different ways of extract text. So this one is you have the place, but for CSS is a kind of hierarchical things, but everything is under div quote. So this one under div quote, the first things. So if you check it carefully, then this says we want everything inside div quote, so nothing else, just div quote. So eligible for this one. Then we just extract author. So you need to check out where is the author. Then you need to check out after the author, the text, where is the text. So now we extract these two, then print it out. Then the next page is if you, on this page, you have a next page. So from here, we can see it's line next, then it will be the next page. So from the website, if we check for the next page here, so you can see this one, the line next. So it's the next page. So this one is allowed you to grab different pages. So that's the Scrapy works. So it will give you to define what kind of things you want to extract. Then after that, you need to say if you want to extract another page. So from here, you need to get another page. So that's the, so then after that, it says if next page is not none, then you continue. So even there is another page and another page, or 10, 20s, it will continue to extract everything for you. So it's a simple, not complex program, but it does a lot of work for you. So when we want to run it, we can change to, from here we can say Scrapy project. We need to go back to our week 11, so yeah, so we go back to our week 11. So now we change our directory into week 11. So from here we can say we ask the Scrapy to run this program. So before you run it, you need to check if you have got the Python program here. So then let's have a look. So we have the one week 11.02 Scrapy here. So then we run it. So we run the spider. So this command is called Scrapy run spider. Then run the program you want to run. Then the -o is to write it out. Then write it as the name. The .jl is a JSON file. So when it runs, then keep it. Then later on we can see what's the JSON file. So let's run it. So now it starts to extract things we want, the author and the text inside the author. So when you finish, it says spider closed, finished. So after that, we can go back to our program. So we do from week 11, then we do a quote. So we write the quote here. So now is afternoon 2 o'clock. So this one is a newly created one. So we open this one, then we check. These are all the things we extract from the quote website. So it's pretty quick. So that's the program we are doing. So should I give you a bit of time to try another things? So you can use the code to try to extract other things, or you can run by yourself. We will re-explain the more complicated program. For the third program we use for Scrapy. So we use the same URL from the quote. Then what this program has done is to do a first pass. The pass we have done for the first program. Then this one is using the similar one to do the pass. Then inside this program, we actually do two things. The first one is to find all the link we need. And the second one is to do the extraction. Then the first program, the first part, the function in the first part is actually to dig into the first level of your website. So when we look at here, this one is a variable. So we put everything, we extract from the author and inside the author a link. So we get everything for this one to the author link. Then we ask the Scrapy to yield from this one. So for all the link we need, it will put into another function to extract author. So this one will make all the links go to the next part to do the extraction. So when we couldn't find the author here, or we couldn't find the H3 here, it's actually hidden in here. We will have we have one student help me to find out. So because I forgot. So when we look at the first level of the website, it looks like this one. Then this one is the source code. So inside this one, we can find the author. And inside for this author, it actually, for each author, there is a hierarchy, and there is a web URL link here. So we actually, for the program author, the author, the dot means it's not from the first hierarchical tag. So it's hidden under something else. So it's called .author. Then plus A is a hyperlink, so it's called A. So when we have things is fulfill this requirement, then it will be this one. So when we have the things fulfill the requirement, so this one will be extracted. So the link will be sent into next part. So the author will be extracted. So when we go into this one, we view the source. So we can actually find the H3 we couldn't find before. So now we have the H3 here. So it's author title. So it was written in our program. So now we can have the name, and it's called H3 author title. Then we have the author born date, this one, and author description. So from here we can check. So we have like author description here, the author title, and the author born date. So it's actually the second page inside the first page. So for each of the author, we can extract it. So the Scrapy will dig into another page to extract the data we want. So that's the third program is doing. So you can go back to try if you can find out something like a first link. Then inside the first link, there is another link in the second page. Then you can try to use this one. So for the Scrapy, let's do a review. So any question about this one? So for this part is actually just get the link. Then for the second part is to print. So this one yield is actually a printing work, to print all the work out. So for running this one, actually I didn't change here to use a different name. So if you run it, it may be just overlap your first text file, or maybe append into the bottom of the file. So we can change the we use it like we use quote before, then we change it to author. So if we run this one from terminal, so then we should have a new author.jl generate. So this is quite a lot of data to be generated. So now we check the actual author here. So the time is just 1 minute before. So it's a new program we have. So let's have a look at this one. So this is a new generated JSON file. So for JSON format, it's just like something, then a column, then something else, then a comma separate, then the second. So this is a pair. The column is a pair between things you note and the actual data you extracted. So that's the Scrapy work. Now we will do a bit of review on the Scrapy. So first we talk about how to create a new project. So for create a new project, first of all you need to have your virtual environment to have Scrapy installed. Then after that you can do Scrapy start a project, then using a different name not already existed. So that's the way of creating a new project. Then you change your directory into the project. Then we can do Scrapy gen spider. So you can give a name here. So instead of using movie, you may use a new name like my first spider, things like that. Then you give a URL which you want the Scrapy to run. Then after that, we can say outside. If you have a project, then after the fourth step, you can actually call the movie.spider out. Then change so it's like this one. Then change things in the path. So you pass something here. Actually, you want to run. You extract things from here. So you change this one, then after that you can do Scrapy crawl movie.o. Then give the result into like a files. So for this one, I can show you because I have the movie project already set up. Then so we can run it later on. But before that, I need to say, when I first created these movies, then extracted, then they are all like random, you can readable text inside my file because it's in Chinese. So in case you want to extract things not in English, you need to put this command put this line into your settings.py. So where is the settings.py? Is in when you create a project like my movies, then inside the movies there are four Python program like items, middlewares, pipelines, and settings. So inside the settings, you need to open it. Then open the settings. Then you need to put this one to your settings. Then save it. In case you have like you extract the Russians, you extract French, then the result will be very random. You can't read it. But if you have this one, then the result will be readable. That's the things you need to be careful. Okay, now we want to try this one. So when you have your project all done, then we can do the crawl. So we try to do this one. So my movie project is just inside my week 11. So let's see what can we do with that. So I don't think I need to change to my movies project. I can just run it outside. So I can say Scrapy crawl movies, then the result right into movies.jl. So then I run it. Scrapy crawl movies. What? Scrapy, sure. Let's check. I think the crawl, yeah, I make a mistake here, so that's a bad demonstration. Here we say that the crawl is a project only command. So if I didn't go into my movies project, it won't do the work. It won't do the work. So I need to change my. Let's check if we can change my project too. Then we do. Yeah, so I need to move to my project, then run the spider. So after that, I think we have the movie.jl to print it out. So now this one should be the newly one. So we have the movies here. So we can have a look at the Yahoo movies. So this is the Yahoo movie site. So then I just want to extract the name of the movie and the date is going to show. So then the result is here. So if you find it's repetitive, so it might be the repetitive data into here, because I already have the movies here. So you can, if you find things like that, you can delete the original file, then it will generate a new one. So for example, if we delete this one, so we now don't have a movie. Then we go back to the terminal and run it again. So now we check this one has been created again, so we can check. So that's the new movies. So it's actually 16 movies from the Yahoo movie site. So if you check, it's actually like 4. Then you click 4 times, 4. So it's 16 movies on here. So that's the way of doing Scrapy web extraction. So I think this one, Scrapy, is a bit more complicated, but not too difficult to use. So if you want to try more like complex extraction, Scrapy is a good choice. So okay, now we just finish here. If you have questions, then we can stay. Otherwise, you are free to go.